Hey, what's up, homies? It's Ryan, and today we are here with episode number 24 of our Miami Marlins franchise here on Out of the Park Baseball 18. It is the 2024 first year player draft to Thursday, June 6th, 2024. Your Marlins 22-31, 8.5 games back in the NL East behind the Washington Nationals. So, this season has been very, very up and down. There's times that we've looked like a really good team. And then there's times like right now when we've lost. Actually, let's go to the schedule. When we're in the midst of we just can't win a game, unfortunately. Like you see there, we have like a nice 3-game winning streak, and then we followed that up with a 4-game losing streak. And then even earlier in May we had a 5-game winning streak, and then we lose 3 straight. Then we win, lose 3, win, lose 4. Then we win 3, and now we've lost 4 again. So a very inconsistent season for the Miami Marlins. Our pitching staff has taken a step back. They were actually supposed to be one of the better staffs in the entire league. So preseason projections, we were supposed to go 81-81, finish second in the division, and I guess that's still possible. We were supposed to have a 251 team average, hit 126 homers, 94 stolen bases, score 689 runs. Our pitching staff, though, was supposed to be kind of elite. We were supposed to have a 3.78 ERA, which was the second lowest projected in all of baseball. 1,439 strikeouts. That was one of the higher marks in the league. 428 walks and 659 runs against. Estrada was supposed to be a top 10 hitter. Doherty was supposed to be a top 10 pitcher. We have had injury issues this year. We've had Roy Balley, he's still on the disabled list. Melee got injured for about a month. Tristan Gray we sent down because Carpio, I want to start him up here, but then almost immediately Carpio got injured, so that didn't work out. I mean, we might actually call Carpio up because Gray is not doing very well this year, so before I forget to do that, how's Carpio doing on his rehab assignment? Not very well, but it's all good. Rehab assignments it's all good. So, yeah, I think we're going to send Tristan Gray. We'll keep Tristan Gray up as a backup, I think, because no. Yeah, we're going to send Tristan Gray down. Maybe get his things back together down in there at New Orleans, but we are going to bring Carpio back up, and we'll put Carpio in at shortstop. There he is. And somehow Fox lost the backup position, I guess. I don't know. So we're going to put Fox there, and yeah, we'll just go with that. So we'll just copy, and then do what we always do. Just go over here, paste, and paste. Yeah, so I'm not going to say it's been a disappointing season because, we've had way more disappointing seasons than this, but just, the up and down. If we take a look at the info here and the history, our expected record is 22-31, the Pythagorean win-loss. So it's not like we're getting unlucky or overly lucky or anything like that. It's just been very, very inconsistent. Now, I'm hoping as the season goes on, we become more consistent. Maybe the pitching staff finally realizes who they were supposed to be. But as of right now, just taking a look at the stats here, Doherty has had an okay year, but not what I would expect of a guy like this. He's supposed to be our ace, and he is not quite performing like an ace. He had an ERA over 5 at one point. Now he's finally gotten that back down, so hopefully he can keep the good times rolling. Braxton Garrett has been our ace this year, most likely. He's been consistently our best pitcher. Alex Faedo has taken a major step back, and I can't say I'm too surprised. Just he only has 2 pitches. The changeup never developed, so I'm probably going to take this guy out of the rotation in favor of maybe a Johnny Bontrager. Although Bontrager, he has had an extremely, extremely rough year. You see in 8 starts, he has pitched to an 8.60 ERA. He is walking 4.3 batters per 9 innings, letting up close to 2 home runs. He has a 1.88 whip, 26 strikeouts to 18 walks. That is a very ugly ratio. So Bontrager has had a very, very rough go of it. But I need to replace Faedo in the rotation at some point because I was kind of banking on that changeup developing into something, and OSA still thinks it can, but it's clear at this point that it will never develop into anything. So Faedo, he could be a really nice relief pitcher for us, I think, but just with those 2 pitches, I don't think it's going to work out. Last year, I guess, was kind of a fluke, and I guess I should have seen that. I mean, look at his BABIP last year; it was at 255. Now, some pitchers can make that work, but clearly, and in all fairness, his BABIP this year is at 361. So perhaps he got really lucky last year, and maybe he's getting a little unlucky this year. But at the same time, it's just not been a good year for Faedo. So we're going to give him, a bit of a longer leash just because he did do well last year in a starting role, but he's probably going to lose his job at some point if he doesn't pick it up. We could maybe put, as I said, Bone Trogger back in there. We could maybe call up Cliff Gallahan. I called him up earlier this year, but he had an awful start, so I sent him back down. AJ Moore, it's about what we expected. Not nearly as good as he had done last year, but I was not expecting that. He is not that good normally. So, hopefully he can get the ERA down a little bit, but it's like it's the same thing that we've seen every year. Like, he'll have a start where he'll go 6 innings, he'll have 2 earned runs, and then a start later, he can only go 4 innings. And then a start later, he goes 4 2/3 and lets up 5 runs. Then he has this start right here where he goes 5 innings, allows 3 hits, just 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. Just a very inconsistent year for everybody involved. Taking a look at the lineups and sorting by OPS. Mike Anderson, we called him up when Melee went down, and he has been one of our best offensive threats as a rookie. Now, this was the guy that we took last year, 2nd overall in the draft, Mike Boo Anderson. He's slashing .342, .409, .509 with a .918 OPS. He has 4 home runs, 14 RBIs. He has stolen 5 bases, 29 strikeouts, 211 walks, a .143 OPS plus. Now that BABIP is not sustainable whatsoever, a .432 BABIP. So he's going to regress at some point, but still, like he's going to be really good at the well, not really good. He'll be solid at the dish. He doesn't really have any home run power, but still the potential 70 grade contact, 75 grade gap power. I mean, if nothing else, will give you batting average. He'll even get on base, I think. I mean, his eye is supposed to be pretty solid, too, with a 55 grade eye rating. So it'll be interesting to see how much he regresses, because he's not going to keep this up. I mean, he's been playing a 1.5 win player at this point. I'm not expecting this to continue, but still, it's been nice to see. Ben Melee has been good when he hasn't been injured. John Dean has been good this year. Of course, he has no power to his game. He is leading the team in stolen bases, OPSing above 800, 322, 362, 448. He has 19 doubles. That leads the team. Luis Estrada, we brought him on the team for his, 75 grade power. At this point in June, he has 12 home runs. He has struck out 29 times to 13 walks. He's OPSing just under 800 at 782, although he does have an above-average OPS plus. The BABIP is extremely low at 231, which I guess is kind of to be expected. I mean, BABIP isn't the end-all, be-all, I should say. Like, you guys might hear me reference it a lot. It's not the end-all, be-all, like telling if a guy's like really lucky or if he's really not lucky. Like, some guys just have extremely high BABIPs every single year, and some of them just have really low ones, like clockwork. So Estrada, I don't know if this is going to be the norm for him. I don't know if this means he's getting a little unlucky, if he's just, hitting the ball very hard. But, I guess we'll find out by the end of the season. Kelenic has had a bit of an off year. This is probably his worst years since he's gotten called up. He's only OPSing at 701 now. I'd like to take a look at his. Yeah, he's been a negative win player, a 289 BABIP. He's stolen 4 bases, so hopefully this is just a kind of like a slump for him, and hopefully he's getting out of it. Taking a look here and seeing, it seems like he's had another inconsistent guy. It seems like he hasn't had any luck this year. Carpio, we just called him up. He did not do all that well in his first stint. Martinez has not done very well. I'm thinking maybe we should send him down because it doesn't look like he was ready, so maybe demote him. And then who else did we have? Actually, how's Artie Bart's doing? I just called him up. Okay, so he's doing all right. Not that I'm going to call him up, but so Martinez is down here. So maybe, I don't know, maybe we get a guy like Christian. Well, now Hicks isn't doing very well, unfortunately. Oh, maybe Michael Chavis would be good. Sprained knee, minimal for 4 weeks. Sure, we'll bring up Michael Chavis, I suppose. Why not? So let's get Michael Chavis in at third base. Going to let Gray try to iron out the kinks down there at New Orleans. I'm going to try to let Martinez iron out the kinks because I thought they were ready, but I guess they were not ready in Martinez's case. And I guess Gray, he's going through the sophomore slump that people like to talk about so much. But take a look just at the info here. We are tied for 4th in hits, 4th in batting average. So the offense has been better than it was supposed to be, I think. Home runs only 37. That is not going to get it done, especially in this day and age. But yeah, the pitching staff has just been awful this year. So if we're going to, finish anywhere close to 500, if we're going to make the playoffs, we do really need to, we need the pitching staff to be a lot better than it has been. But I mean, we have played like a 500 team for the most part. We went 7-13 in April, 14-14 in May, and we just had a rough start to June. 9th place right now in the wild card race. But it is the first-year player draft. We have the 14th overall pick. The Cardinals have 2 top 5 picks, believe it or not, so hopefully they don't screw that one up. So as I did last time, I'm going to not just like go straight through. I'll just make edits. That way we can get through this draft a little quicker. So I will look to see who the Marlins will take with their first overall pick here in the 24 draft. Hopefully, it'd be nice if one of these guys could drop. It'd be nice if Dorsey or Silver can drop, but I would doubt that. All right, I think I found the guy that I'm going to take. It's a starting pitcher, Jeremy Martin, 22 years old, out of college now. His pitching ratings are intriguing. I'm going to keep him as a pitcher for right now, but if you take a look at his batting ratings, this guy could be a pretty solid bat if we really wanted him to play out in the outfield. And even, take a look. This guy, really good infield ratings. Good infield, well, not me. Okay, let me take that back. I didn't look at the whole thing. Good infield arm, but you take a look at his outfield ratings, a 70 grade, in left field, 60 in center field, 65 in right field. If you take a look at his outfield ratings, he's pretty good out there in the outfield. He's got speed to him. So, I mean, we might experiment with this guy, maybe just give him some at-bats in the minor leagues. I don't know. But I'm going to take him as a pitcher, but it'll be interesting to see maybe if we can develop him as a batter as well. That would actually be pretty neat to see. So we're going to take this Jeremy Martin kid out of, the University of Rhode Island. Yeah, okay. So we're going to draft him and move on to the second round. Second round pick, naturally, we're going to take the second baseman, Pete Manzanillo. He is from Towson. That is a college in Maryland. Average competition level, he OPS'd at a 942 clip there. I guess in what was his senior season, I suppose, or maybe his junior season. I don't know. He's 21 years old, so I guess it was his junior season. But we are going to take Pete Manzanillo here with our second round pick. If we take a look once again, intriguing contact and avoiding strikeouts ratings. He is okay defensively, not great, but I suppose he won't kill you. He could be a lot worse. He's got some speed to his game, a line drive hitter. So we are going to take a shot here on Pete Manzanillo. Third round pick. This is a very pitching heavy class. I have found actually, if you take a look at the best available right now, a lot of pitchers are the best available. So we're going to take a shot here on the Sergio Apodaca kid. He is from Texas Tech, of course, the university in Texas. Great competition level. He pitched to a 2.79 ERA. Now, he started in college. I don't think he's going to start here in the major leagues. It seems like he's only going to have 2+ pitches, which is all well and good. I mean, maybe he could be a spot starter if we need him to be, but it seems like the changeup's never going to be anything more than a subpar below average offering. So we're going to utilize him as a relief pitcher most likely. 20 years old, intriguing ratings aside from the changeup. So in the third round here, we're going to take Sergio Apodaca, the third college player we've selected in as many rounds. Fourth round here, we found Kevin Watts, a closer from Columbia, the college in New York. Average competition level. Once again, this is another guy that started in college majority of the time. You see, he was in 15 games. He started 12 of them. We're not going to have him be a starter. Definitely not. If you take a look, his stamina is a 45, and I guess you can make that work, but another guy just like Apodaca, 2+ pitches in the fastball and the secondary offering, but the changeup's never going to develop. But the stuff rating is intriguing. The movement is already a 60 grade rating, which is great. So, well, not great, but it's good. It's solid. We'll see if it maybe it takes a jump that we're not expecting. That would be even better. But we're going to take, where is he? Where did he go? Kevin Watts here in the fourth round. Finally found the first high schooler that we are going to take here in the 2024 first-year player draft, a baseball rat. He's the first one to leave the park and the last one to leave, so you can tell this guy is very, very gritty. You always need that on your team. Josh Lynch, a catcher from Marietta High School in Ohio, average competition level. He OPS'd above 1,000. Now, obviously, he's not going to do that at the major league level, but still, for a fifth-round, 18-year-old catcher, these ratings are pretty intriguing. It seems like he could be solid with the bat. He would be a bat-first catcher. It seems like he's going to be awful defensively. So maybe we can try to convert this guy into a first baseman, if nothing else, because Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, he could always be like a backup catcher, a bat-first catcher. I would not be opposed to doing that. I know I usually go defense for those guys, but maybe we can have like a bat-first catcher if this guy ever develops. So 5th round here, Josh Lentz, high schooler, the first one we are going to take here in the 2024 draft. 6th round here, we're going to take another college bat, 20-year-old Dan Martin from Mankato, Minnesota. He went to Clemson University. Great competition level there at Clemson. He slashed 282, 343, 388. Doesn't really have a set position, unfortunately, but he's really good in the outfield. So we're going to make him an outfielder. I don't know what position. Probably center field, like it says he is right there. Once again, another intriguing rating guy. It seems like he could be solid almost in every aspect with the exception of home run power, which is not too surprising at just 5'11", 180. It seems like he's never going to develop any home run power, which is all good. He does have 75 grade elite speed, which I'm fine with. So here we go, 6th round, another college bat, born in 2003. Oh my goodness, where are you going to go with Dan Martin? The final pick that we ourselves are going to make before we let our scouting director finish it up, we are going to take Nate Haskins, a starting pitcher out of Maplewood, Minnesota. He went to the University of Minnesota, so he was a Gopher. Great competition level up there. He started all 20 games. He pitched to a 2.91 ERA, a 1.21 whip, 140 strikeouts to 46 walks. He was a 4-win player, supposedly. I'm going to take a risk on this guy just because it seems like his control will never develop. So we'll see maybe if he can become, maybe a nice middle relief guy that you don't put in high leverage situations. And, that way the control rating doesn't get too in the way. But we're going to take a shot here on Nate Haskins, see if he can develop into anything. And with that, that's the last guy we are going to take. So we are going to complete the draft here. And then I will simulate ahead and probably come back close to the All-Star break. We'll see who made the All-Star teams. And that is that. Because I know I'm going to get, when I see the Phillies are looking for a GM. That is interesting. You guys know that I'm a Phillies fan, so I mean, actually, if we go to perhaps where do I go if I want to search for? Oh, so maybe I could quit my job. Maybe go to the Phillies. That is interesting. But yeah, we're gonna get all the guys that we drafted. You see here, none of them want a ton. I'll just do it right now. That way you guys see. So all these guys are under slot for the for the most part. So we're going to just give all these guys exactly what they want. So we came in under our draft budget, which is always good. Always a nice way to save some money, especially for what is now a small market team, according to our owner, Jeffrey Lurie Jr. We're not going to try to get Dave Bradley or Glendon Jermanson. But I was taking a look here. You see we are actually, we have the second lowest budget in the league, which is great. We're tied for the second lowest budget. And we have the lowest player payroll at $58 million. Remember, our payroll was supposed to be around like $75 million. Attendance is good this year, though. We were getting 31,000 people out to the park. Always good. But I'm going to simulate up until probably like the All-Star break. So when we come back, hopefully our Marlins a little closer to 500 than they are now. That would be fantastic. All right, we are back. It is Monday, July 15th. All-Star games in a couple of days. Things have just gone from bad to worse. You see Melee, he's going to be out for another 5 weeks. He's on the DL. Gallahan's going to be out for another 5 to 6 months. Chapman's going to be out for 6 to 7 weeks. Charjo is day-to-day for 1 more week. Bobby Wall is going to be out for 3 months. So basically everybody got injured, which is awesome. Said we are 38-50, still 9 games back in the NL East. And it looks like we are roughly 9 back in the wild card as well. Very close race in the wild card, but we are not there. It's just been a very, very rough year, unfortunately. Taking a look now at the All-Star rosters. I'm just waiting to see, because I'm going to simulate the entire season in this video. I really want to see if I get fired after this season. I'm really hoping I do at this point, because I want to go to Philadelphia. So the All-Star game rosters have been announced. So who did we get? I imagine we had to get at least one guy. We got John Dean. Did we get anybody else? Eric Doherty, Braxton Garrett. All right, so we got 4 All-Star representatives. Austin Franklin. Wow, okay, so we get 4 All-Star representatives. The rest of your rosters. Starting in the American League, Adam Conley, Shintaro Fujinami, Luke Giolito, Brent Honeywell, Michael Lorenzen, Cody Medeiros, Jonah Patton, Blake Snell, Cody Allen, Chris Davinsky, Brad Hand, Jai Mekvel, Jimmy Sheffery, Juan Trujillo, Adam Warren, Luis Sila, Francisco Mejia, Tomoyo Mori, Max Pentecost, Connor Godert, Brandon Lowe, Yoan Moncada, Fernando Perez, Heimer Candelario, who coincidentally actually did get traded to the Tigers, which in real life, and now he's on the Tigers in this game, which is cool. Joey Gallo, Hunter Watson, Carlos Correa, Francisco Lindor, Sergio Salgado, Tyler O'Neill, Blake Rutherford, Mike Trout, Kyle Tucker, Jimmy Hartwig, Nomar Mazara, Chris Rothenberg, and Manny Sanchez. And in the National League, aside from our players, Jarrell Cotton, Tyler Glasnow, Clayton Kershaw, Carlos Martinez, Martin Perez, Noah Syndergaard, Alex Claudio, Ian Kroll, Robbie Ray, Felipe Rivera, Trevor Rosenthal, Travis d'Arnaud, Yasmani Grandal, Ryan January, Greg Deichmann, Jamie Fagan, Paul Goldschmidt, Ozzie Albies, who just got called up in real life, Chris Bryant, Willie Castro, Orlando Osea, Brendan Rodgers, Edmundo Sosa, Aldrem Corredor, Marcus Wilson, Juan Montero, Kevin Rivera, Luis Soto, who is having quite the year there in Chicago, as we'd expect him to, of course. Ron Warren, Alex Destino, and Bryce Harper. So it's been a rough year. Our pitching staff right now is basically a who's who. We had to call up Edward Cabrera. We had to call up Austin Becker. That was the guy we got in that Seattle Mariners trade a couple of years back. And Becker has pitched 1 inning, so that's good stuff out of him. Faedo we had to pull out of the rotation just because he was awful. It seems like his confidence is pretty much shot at this point, unfortunately, so hopefully he can get things better. Austin Bergner, this was our 6th round pick in 2019. We called him up to fill a spot in the rotation since Gallahan got injured, and he has not done all that well, unfortunately. Although, I guess he's done all right. He only went 3 innings his first start. He had 2 quality starts the next 2, and then last start was a little rough, so I guess he's doing okay. Maybe I jumped the gun a little bit. He's not going to be great up here in the major leagues. But it's been a rough year. There's Gunnar Troutwine. That was the guy we took, 2018? I remember that. That was a long time ago, guys. Remember that? Martinez is starting to hit again, so I'm sure he's going to get called up eventually. Cortez, I'd like to see him do a little better than he is right now. We did send Kalanick down because he sucked this year, and it seems like he is starting to come around a little bit, but I want to keep him down there a little longer because I need him to stay down there. How's Artie Bartz doing? Artie Bartz is doing okay, not as well as he was doing at AA, but he's doing okay. So team home screen here. Now, I'm not sure what to say. Luis Estrada has 23 home runs at this point, so that free agent signing looks like it's been a good one. John Dean, of course, having an outstanding season. He is OPSing at 844, 342, 388, 456. So he is having a very good season. Seems like picking him in the first round in 2019 has finally paid off as he made an all-star team this year, which is fantastic. Just need the pitching staff to be a little more consistent. That way maybe we can finish 500. You guys remember last year after the all-star break, the team finally put it all together, and we finished 10 games over 500 after the all-star break. So maybe that same thing will happen again this year. That would be great, particularly at Info. Yeah, June has been a little rough, 11 and 17. April was a little rough, 7 and 13. Basically, May we were a 500 team. As of right now, in July we are a 500 team. So maybe we'll put everything together. All these guys not all these guys. Some of these guys come back from injury, like Melee and Charjo. We put them back into their respective spots, and then maybe we will be good to go, and we will finish 500. So we don't lose our job. That would be fantastic. But yeah, I'm going to simulate up ahead. I'm not going to do anything at the deadline. We're not really sellers. There's not really guys I want to get rid of. Take a look at the lineup. I'm not going to get rid of Dean. I'm not going to get rid of Anderson. I'm not going to get rid of Roy Bell. I'm not going to get rid of Estrada. I want to keep him next year because, as you guys remember, this was essentially a 2-year contract with 2 team options. So I want to keep him next year. So we're not going to trade him. Don't want to trade Carpio. I don't want to trade Gray. I don't want to trade Chavez just because I'm not going to get anything for Gray or Chavez at this point. You can never get anything for Vasquez. I don't want to trade anyone in my rotation. I don't want to trade any of my bullpen guys. I might have considered trading Chapman, but he got injured, so we can't do that anymore, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm just going to simulate up ahead probably till September, just to see how the team's doing, and then maybe we can go game by game. I don't know. But I'll see you guys again in a couple of months. Hopefully I have some better news. All right, it is the end of the regular season. Monday, October 7th, your Marlins finished 76 and 86. 10 games back in the NL East. We finished in third place, 3 games behind the Nationals, who finished 79 and 83. It's a very rough end to the year. As you see, we would have had a chance, I think, if we won just like a few more games, maybe to make up some ground on the Mets. Take a look here in September. That 3-game sweep really hurt us. I mean, figure if we win that, we're only 7 games back. And, if we just win a few more of these games, if we don't get swept by the Phillies in 4 games, if we don't lose 2 out of 3 to the Nationals, maybe things go a little better, but September was just a rough month. If you take a look here, I suppose we played like a 500 team. I mean, even after the All-Star break, we went 13 and 12 in July, 17 and 12 in August. That was our best month of the year by far. But September, we kind of just crumbled. We went 11 and 16 when it really mattered, when we could have, we had an opportunity to finish 500 this year. We only needed 5 more wins, but we just could not do it, unfortunately, which does kind of suck. But what are you going to do? It is what it is. We finished 9th in runs scored, 3rd in batting average, 7th in OBP, 15th in home runs. So we need to find a way to add some power to the lineup because we're only getting it from 2 guys right now, and that is not nearly enough. 9th in stolen bases, 9th in runs against, 5th in starters ERA, 7th in bullpen ERA, 11th in defensive efficiency. JT Chargeau, the guy that we signed to an extension, actually if we go to front office and then owner, we signed to an extension. He had to retire because he suffered a ruptured UCL, which was a career-ending injury for the 34-year-old. So could not, unfortunately, we will not have him next year or the following year because I gave him a 2-year extension. So we did increase attendance. We did not play 500 ball, and we did not reach the playoffs by the target year, which is unfortunate. So I do want to see if I do get fired. I don't know. We've held this job for almost, 10 years now, and we still have not made the playoffs, which does kind of stink. Taking a look actually at the history. Our Pythagorean win-loss was 77 and 85. So we've still not made the playoffs yet in this save, which is unfortunate. Take a look at the pitching staff. Doherty, by the way, we put on the disabled list, as you saw right there. He picked it up as the season went on. You remember I said he had an ERA over 5. He finished with a 2.99 ERA, a perfect 1.00 whip. He walked less than a batter per 9 innings, which is fantastic. He struck out 9.4, ERA plus of 145. He was close to a 7-win player. So he had an exceptional season, 220 strikeouts to just 21 walks. That is fantastic. So I'm kind of worried to see how much money he's going to get in arbitration, but we're going to have to keep him. We will definitely pay the guy. He is worth it. Braxton Garrett definitely regressed a little bit as the season went on. He finished 12 and 10 with 3.67 ERA, which albeit was his best season yet as a professional, or as I should say as a major leaguer. He pitched 193 and 2/3 innings. He walked close to 2 batters per 9 innings, struck out 8.4, 118 ERA plus. He was a 4-win player, 181 strikeouts to 41 walks. Of course, he was an all-star this year. Doherty was an all-star this year. Bergner had a solid MLB debut season and 17 starts here at a 3.58 ERA. I don't know if he's this good, but I guess we will see in the future years. A.J. Moore was very inconsistent. Definitely could not live up to what he did last year, but he was better than he was in 2022. So I guess this is about what to expect, a back-of-the-rotation arm, and nothing more than that. Michael Baumann did well in the rotation. He had started 22 games overall, a 3.55 ERA. Across all 31 games he appeared in, a 1.35 whip. He walked close to 4 batters per 9 innings, which is not too surprising. He only has 50 grade control. Struck out 8.4, 122 ERA plus. Taking a look at the lineups now. Actually, before I do that, I want to look at the bullpen. Franklin had a solid year. I believe he was an all-star this year. Yes, if I remembered correctly. Chapman had a solid year despite being injured for about 2 months. Faedo, just a very rough year, though. A lot of that damage was because of what he did in the rotation. So it seems like he kind of improved as the season went on, and it's just kind of difficult to fix that ERA when it's well over 6. There's not much you can do at that point. Colomb had a rough go of it. Sixto, it seems like he got a little worse as the season went on, and Bontrager, once again, another guy that had issues within the rotation, so the ERA was kind of unsalvageable, unfortunately. Taking a look at the lineups, OPS-wise, Juan Roybal led the team with a 913 OPS. Very good year for our international free agent signing from 2018. He slashed 321, 380, 534. He was a 5-win player, 4.7 to be exact. 15 stolen bases, 22 home runs, 92 RBIs, 64 strikeouts to 43 walks. Mike Anderson, our rookie center fielder, who I imagine will get at least a little consideration for Rookie of the Year, finished slashing 319, 369, 458, and 827 OPS. He stole 18 bases, but he was caught 15 times. 7 home runs, 115 strikeouts to 39 walks. He did have 46 doubles, which was second on the team. Luis Estrada, our free agent signing, led the team by far in home runs with 36 of them. He had 108 RBIs. He was a 2.4 win player, OPS over 800. One of only 3 players to do that, a 115 OPS plus. He stole 4 bases of his own. 87 strikeouts to 57 walks. That's a ratio I would be fine with. John Dean had a great season, all-star season for him, which is nice to see. 158 games started. He slashed 314, 358, and 421. OPS at 780. OPS plus of 108. And he did hit a home run. Now, did he hit a home run last year? I forget. No, he did not. So John Dean hit his first career home run this year, which is pretty neat. Carpio had an okay year. He started off a little rough, but he has since he really put it together in the second half of the year. He slashed 283, 375, 366. Ben Melee had a rough go of it, and injuries played a role in that. He was injured twice for considerable amounts of time. Kelenic did not have a year by his standards, by far his worst year as a major leaguer. And Vasquez, of course, we have him for his defense. So I'm going to actually, I usually don't do this, but I'm going to simulate ahead to the end of the playoffs just to see if I get fired, because I'm kind of expecting that I will, because it's just did not have a very good year. We did increase the attendance, but we did not make the playoffs by the target year, and we finished under 500. So I don't know if he's going to see the injuries and say that, all right, well, I'll give you one more year, see if maybe the team can stay healthy, but that is that. So I'm going to simulate to the end of the postseason and see if I get fired. Hopefully I don't, but we'll see. All right, we are back. The offseason starts tomorrow. The Texas Rangers won the 2024 World Series. This was, I want to see, I can't remember if they've won it in this save before, so I want to go to their history. No, so this is the first time the Texas Rangers have won the World Series in their franchise's history, so congratulations to the Texas Rangers. They win, oh, that's not what I wanted to click. They win the World Series in 6 games against the Chicago Cubs. The Indians, they could not make it back once again. They could not make it a three-peat. You see, they had a 3-1 lead, and they blew. Can you imagine if the Indians blew a 3-1 lead in real life? That would be insane, but I don't think the Indians would ever blow a 3-1 lead in real life. That's pretty difficult to do, blowing a 3-1 lead in real life. The Indians, especially with the talent that this Indian squad has, they would never blow a 3-1 lead in real life. Never, not once would they ever do that. But the Rangers won the World Series in 6 games, so it's time to delete all this mail here and see if indeed we get fired, like I'm kind of expecting. So actually the offseason starts tomorrow. So let's see, do we get fired? Oh, that's it's kind of anticlimactic. Here we go. Are we going to get fired? Let's take a look and see. Are we going to get fired? Dun, 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 dun. Come on. Let me see if I'm going to be sitting on the curb. Come on. And let's see. We did not get fired. I guess that's a good thing. I don't know. Gotta say, let's see. So let's see what our general manager says. So I guess we got another 1-year extension. Chapman, okay, well, we're going to worry about that in the next episode. Reviewed the goals. I've been taking a lot of heat for the fans and the media for the way we finished the season. I know it's hard to point to one problem to explain why the season went south, but we need to make some upgrades. No more excuses. It's not easy to lock up a guy who doesn't want to talk. Keep the discussions open with JT Chargeau. Well, career-ending injury, bud. There's not much I can do about that. Attendance numbers look fantastic. Great. I gave you a goal in 2022 of making the playoffs in a few seasons. My deadline is not up. I thought it was. I'm not too sure I feel too confident right now. Neither am I. So next year, he wants us to achieve a winning record, upgrade at third base, improve our team defensive efficiency, sign Bobby Wall to an extension, acquire a power hitter. Man, this guy is needy. Oh, my goodness. All this guy, it's like want. Oh, my goodness. So he wants us to increase team attendance yet again. I don't know if we're going to do that. Keep building the team up to reach the playoffs in the next 3 seasons. So Jeffrey Loria, new budget, $80 million. So we have $5 million more dollars to sign free agents. Woohoo. That's great. Staff member, we lost our hitting coach. contract got extended for one more year. We lost our assistant GM, bench coach, pitching coach, so now we need all new coaches, unfortunately. So that is fantastic. So once again, your Marlins do not make the playoffs, 76 and 86. I don't know what we're going to do in the offseason, but we'll find out in the next episode. So thank you for watching episode number 24, guys. I'll see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your day.